Hey, what is going on, guys? In this video today, we're going to be discussing what many top Fortnite players are calling the most broken thing in the game right now. One of the main positives of Fortnite Chapter 2 is that so far, and let me knock on wood real quick before saying this, there really isn't any blatantly overpowered vehicle or item. I mean, it's just really refreshing to be able to play games without having to worry about mechs or anything else like that. However, even though the game definitely seems to be going in the right direction, there's still some things to worry about. And believe it or not, the controversial issue that the community has been most concerned with recently actually revolves around fishing. I know that may sound crazy, but as you'll see throughout this video, what seems like a harmless and fun new mechanic in the game can actually be really game-changing. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so I actually want to start this video off with a really funny clip from Booga that's gotten a lot of attention over the past week or so.
Alright, one flopper. Two floppers. Three floppers. Go. Four floppers. Five floppers. Six floppers. Seven floppers. 8 floppers. 9 floppers! 10 floppers. Got your finish. 11 floppers. Wow, oh my.
So what you saw right there was obviously pretty crazy, and it showcases one of the most extreme examples of why fishing is so ridiculously powerful right now. In that clip, the players were at the point in the match where the storm is hitting for 10 HP per second. And in the entire history of Fortnite, it's been basically impossible to even come close to out-healing a 10-tick storm. I'm pretty sure even putting down multiple campfires while constantly hitting something like band-aids would only extend your life by an extra 10 to 15 seconds or so. But with enough fish, a 10 HP per second storm is pretty much no concern whatsoever. The first aspect of fish that makes this possible is the insane amount of health they offer per inventory spot. The most extreme example of this are floppers, which are the fish that guy was using in the video. They heal 50 green HP each, and you can carry up to 4 of them per inventory spot. So my guess is that the player in the clip had 12 floppers total, which is a whopping 600 potential health. And although they don't get as much use in competitive games, slurp fish are pretty insane too. Even though you can only hold 3 of them per stack, they can heal blue or green health, which floppers can't. The second aspect of fish which makes them incredibly powerful is the fact that they heal you pretty much instantly. 3 full stacks of medkits or big pots can actually provide just as much, if not more, potential healing compared to fish, but the main thing that sets them apart is the healing time. 9 medkits would heal 900 total health, but would take a whopping 90 seconds to do so. I would estimate that it takes about 5 seconds to eat 12 floppers, so if you actually compare healing per second, fish blow every other healing method in the game out of the water, no pun intended. The third and final aspect of fish that makes them overpowered is actually how easy they are to acquire. Most healing in this game, especially shield, is pretty darn rare. It's a fairly common occurrence to hit 6 or 7 chests without getting a single shield or healing item in general. With fish though, that really isn't the case at all. First off, fishing rods and fishing spots are really abundant throughout the map. No matter where you land, there's probably an area you can fish at within about 30 seconds of walking. And the rate at which you'll catch floppers and slurp fish from the dedicated fishing spots are actually really high. A guy actually did an experiment and recorded his loot from 1,500 casts of a fishing rod. Out of those 1,500, he got 732 floppers and 274 slurpfish. So if you combine those together, you have roughly a 67% chance to catch either one of those fish each time you cast. And since most fishing spots will give you 2 or 3 items before it actually dries up, you can easily get 10 plus floppers or slurpfish in maybe a minute or so. And if that isn't crazy enough on its own, it's now even easier if you use the new harpoon item. It's only blue rarity, so you shouldn't really have too much trouble finding one, and it grants you 10 casts that will give you your fish instantly, which obviously cuts down the time drastically. And even though that Booga clip was pretty insane and rightfully started a lot of discussion about fish, it gets even worse than that. Here's an image that Unknown X Army tweeted out about a week or 2 ago. What you're seeing here is a squad from week 1 of the Fortnite Championship Series winning 6 out of 9 games without getting a single kill. And the way they accomplish this unfathomable feat is by executing what a lot of players are calling the fishing-only strategy. I won't get super specific because it actually gets somewhat advanced if you want to be as successful as possible with it, but it basically revolves around a full team of 4 landing at Slurpy Swamp, having all 4 players gather fish and heals for one dedicated healer, and then that player just stays in Slurpy and eats all the fish to out-heal the storm damage. And here's a quick little clip that kinda showcases what that looks like.
He was doing that the whole game.
Oh,
bro.
he has like 3 bandage guns, so he could do that the entire game, bro. It just you look on the floppers. Look at
Oh my god!
Now, at least with the Booga example of just out-healing the storm towards the very end of the game, there's actually a pretty reasonable defense of that. Is it a little ridiculous that fish can easily out-heal a 10 damage per second storm? Sure, I think almost everybody would agree with that. But at the same time, it's really difficult to even make it to the end of the match if you're going to dedicate 3 or even 4 inventory spots just to fish. However, this fishing-only strategy is a totally different story. Granted, you do need to be in squads for it to work, and it does require a decent amount of planning and execution, but still. The fact that a team can win over 50% of their games in a high-level competitive setting without killing a single enemy is just too far. And it really showcases how fish are just so much better than every other healing item in the game. Now at this point in the video, I want to make something very clear. I don't believe that fishing is the problem here by any means. I actually think that fishing is one of the best additions to the game in recent history because it gives players a way to acquire health and shield that isn't really RNG based since the fish are so common. Therefore, the simple solution is just to nerf the fish somehow, and there are a few different options that I think would work. The first one that I think is the most obvious is just to lower the max stack size for both floppers and slurpfish by 1. This would make the strategy that you saw from the Booga clip much less viable, and maybe more importantly, would just make fish significantly less overpowered in general. For example, as of right now, it's an absolute no-brainer to take a 3 stack of slurpfish over a 3 stack of big shields. But if it's 2 slurpfish versus 3 big shields, for example, it becomes a lot less clear-cut which option is actually better. But what this solution wouldn't really fix is the fishing-only strategy, since most of the fish are just gathered together on the ground. So another interesting solution I saw is to make it so that the fish heal like a slurp juice instead of just giving the 50 health instantly. That would obviously be a pretty big nerf, but due to all the other positives of the fish that we discussed earlier, I still think they'd be very viable and still widely used. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the entire thing, be sure to let me know with a comment down in the comment section below. What do you guys think about fish, as well as the various ways to kinda exploit them that I showcased in this video? Is it a cause for concern or not that big of a deal? Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.